Boa noite. A pandemia da COVID-19 praticamente parou o mundo, com quase todos os países a fecharem fronteiras para impedir a propagação do novo tipo de coronavírus. Tornou-se, em muitos dos casos, impossível viajar e, noutros, as restrições reduziram as locações ao mínimo essencial. Um dos setores que mais está a sofrer com esta nova realidade é a aviação, e o horizonte vai demorar a nivelar. COVID-19, aterragem forçada, é o mote da TDM Reportagem desta semana, da autoria do jornalista Sérgio Furtado.
Esta crise é uma coisa que nunca foi vista em tempo nenhum. Isto atingiu níveis nunca antes vistos.
The airline and the ground handling, the airport, the meal for the cabin or for the airline. So all of the chain, all in the sectors hurt a lot.
Nobody have the crystal ball, so no one will expect that actually the virus, actually the impact will be so huge and so serious.
I am Celia Lau, the CEO for Asia in Hong Kong and Macau. We actually have been doing very well before COVID-19. We are flying 87 weekly flights to Hong Kong and 81 weekly flights to Macau. And the load factor has been really good, over 80%. And we have been actually preparing to add more routes to Macau as well before this crisis happened. Yeah. In January, we do not do any flight changes. But in February, we start to get a lot of hits. We got the passengers, they book their flights, they start to call us that they want to delay the flights, they don't feel safe to fly outside, they just want to stay in their countries, including Hong Kong, Macau, or in Malaysia, Thailand, and the Philippines, especially from Thailand, Philippines, they don't want to come here because this part is close to China, right? So we noticed the hit in February, then we start to reduce the frequency from February, yeah. And we totally cancel our flights around end of February. And until now, all flights are still under hibernation.
A maior parte de nós fomos apanhados um bocado de surpresa com a gravidade da situação. Os aviões são um meio mais fácil de propagar as doenças, como é óbvio. Voam rápido para todo o lado, de dia e de noite, é natural. A única coisa que continua a funcionar, a única parte dos transportes que continua a funcionar é a parte dos transportes de carga. Porque de resto está tudo parado.
That kind of the impact they have ever or never seen before. We can understand the picture, the whole picture, through three figures as a simplicity. The first one is the passenger figures. Passenger. For during the first quarter, compared with the figures of the last year on the same period, a record drop going down around 19.3%. I mean the passengers figures. And about the movement, the flight movement statistic, the same period, the first quarter, decreased 88%. The situations from January, February, and March, and going down and going down.
The group, we have 9 airlines in Asia Pacific cities. Totally, we have 282 aircraft. So we actually suspend all flights and put this 282 aircraft on ground until now. Of course, during this hibernation, we still need to keep maintain the aircraft to ensure that it is function and also it is safe to flight when we resume the flights. So a lot of passengers may not understand during the hibernations, we do not need to do anything, but that is totally wrong. Our engineers, our technical crew members are very busy, and the cleaning officers are so very busy because they need to make sure that the aircraft, including the engines, the CPU units, and also the wheels, is up to standard. We need to keep like monitoring, and the aircraft inside the cabin as well. We need to keep doing cleaning to maintain the aircraft as well. Yeah.
Nesta altura toda a gente está no chamado survival mode. As companhias em si são obrigadas a pagar o salário de base só porque não há voos, eles não voam. Depois do layoff, o layoff é uma situação que desse salário base é pago uma percentagem, que pode ser paga pela companhia, como pode ser paga pelo próprio governo. Os pilotos têm que voar, têm que fazer X número de horas por cada período. Em 3 meses não é muito, em cada 3 meses têm que fazer 3 aterragens e 3 descolagens ao comando dos aviões, portanto, exercendo as suas funções. É evidente que as companhias, se não for possível fazer isso, têm que usar os simuladores para poderem manter os pilotos ativos. Acontece que muitas companhias, como não têm simuladores, fazem nos próprios aviões. Porquê? Porque depois, se os pilotos caírem numa situação de incumprimento, portanto, para recuperarem têm que fazer um treino que custa mais dinheiro e que as companhias depois têm que pagar e demora tempo. Portanto, basicamente, nesta situação em que as companhias têm praticamente as frotas todas no chão e os pilotos estão em layoff, quando eles vierem para o ativo, têm que fazer um plano de recuperação.
I work for an airline about 25 years. I have like 15 years experience in the management level, so I deal with the peoples. I also handling from the ground handling and then the cabin crew. Yes, as you mentioned about when you're facing the crisis, one of the big problem normally is the staff. The airlines normally will issue a no-pay leave for their staff. If most of the aircraft are being grounded, so the crew, pilots, and then the ground staff, they no work to do. So that's why the no-pay leave will be essential, and they can't escape. Start from China and Asia, we know that the airlines are being seriously affected. You can see European and state as well. Some of the surveys also see in the world, almost 70% of all the aircraft are being grounded in the airport. When you're talking about start from the check-in and then to the boarding, and you're putting on the airplane itself, at least like 40 to 50 people, they are working on all the operations.
The cost, of course, is not cheap. Since we have 282 aircraft, for maintaining those aircraft safe and resume the flight again, we need to keep the certain amount of cash for that part of expenses. And apart from that, of course, we have actually like over 29,000 staff as well. So that is also compulsory expenses because we do not let go any employees because our Asia, like Group CEO Tony Fernandez, is really like pay attention to people. People always first in our cultures. So that part we also keep sufficient cash flow to maintain it. So this is kind of like cash we need to maintain to keep the airline going. Yeah.
As margens hoje, derivado da competição que existe, é muito baixa em qualquer dos modelos. E, portanto, as companhias ganham dinheiro pelo volume, pelo número de passageiros que transportam. É evidente que os preços da aviação. A aviação é uma indústria extremamente cara e muito exigente. Hoje, por exemplo, eu posso lhe dizer que uma tripulação vai para o simulador 2 vezes, pelo menos por ano. Há companhias que estão aí 3 e 4 vezes. A manutenção é caríssima, não é? O preço do combustível é uma coisa que nunca ninguém consegue apostar. Como é que isso tudo se traduz em tarifas baratas para ir poder sugerir à pessoa voar 2, 3 vezes por ano? É baixando as margens. Claro que quando acontece uma situação deste tipo, nenhuma empresa, estou certo, não tem cash flow, portanto dinheiro, para aguentar a empresa como ela é, por mais de 2 meses. 2, 3 meses, o máximo. 2, 3 meses, o máximo.
Our neighbor, Hong Kong, Cathay Pacific is one of the biggest group. They just nearly issued their financial statements. In the first 4 months, January to April, they lose about 4.5 billions. Well, you can see that. If the situation continuously for some more months, the end of this year, Cathay may be losing 6 to 7 billions. It's not impossible. So how can an airlines, even they are so big, they are probably the largest ones, can suffer? Hong Kong government are even giving the home-based carrier each aircraft with some of the subsidy. Why they do that? Because they know that airlines is a very important economy recovery tools. Without the airlines, you can't bring the people. When you lock down the city, it's easier. But thinking about when you want to restart and reconnect it, how you can make sure that people can come. So that's why I think the ground staff, the crew members, and pilots are the most important resources.
So there's so many studies try to see through the crystal ball. So after the virus, which kind of business model will be success, will be survive longer. But we can see that maybe this virus cannot stop forever, or maybe stop in a moment and then will come back again. So that's why some of the study or research to see that maybe the business model for the airline, for the passenger, will be changed ever.
Now we have a terminology called new normal. New normal in a sense is we come back to normal, because you're thinking about it when the COVID-19 gone, when we're going to resume our travel journey again. It's not just like pull off your mask and you just go on board. I'm sure a lot of new policy, a lot of new guidance, and a lot of travel information and medical advice will be applied.
Vai haver certamente na limpeza dos aviões standard obrigatório diferente. Quais são as implicações que isso vão ter em termos de custos? Claro que o passageiro irá pagar isso. Agora, isso será suficiente para fazer o passageiro acreditar que é seguro? Só o tempo o vai dizer.
Inside the aircraft actually we already put in the filter systems called HEPA. HEPA actually is like the world-class one. IATA also recommended the most safe filter system inside the aircraft, which actually is like similar to the filters we use in the hospital. And our cabin crews were wearing masks for sure and gloves to serve the passengers. So that's all the measurements inside the aircraft. We also will keep minimum contacts with the passengers for our cabin crews on board. Yes.
For example, even the boarding procedures, you can imagine that from now on, will be probably very hard to see a long queue here, for our passengers waiting for boarding. And then when you're going to do the turnaround of the aircraft, they are using a lot of new medical equipments that they can hygiene the aircraft and then they can cleaning all the seat. I'm sure the new equipment, new technology will be definitely help for airlines and then to improve the hygiene conditions.
They need to take measures to maintain the customer to think that travel through air is safe. Yeah, so they need to take some measures forever.
So domestically in Malaysia, we resumed the flight from 29th of April. We resumed like 42 routes already, and the load factor although it's not very good, but still people are traveling. So that is the first move for passengers traveling. So it gives confidence, and also it shows to the other passengers flying is still safe. Yeah.
Recently, you check with IATA. They have a very negative assumptions. I will not say negative is not right, but negative assumption means that the aviations only can be resumed normal till 2023. Mean that at least like three years after.
Eu estou em crer que o nível de preço que nós tínhamos não vamos ter mais.
Voltaremos na próxima semana com mais uma TDM Reportagem. Até lá, muito boa noite.